Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As talks about title today's video, I'm here to showcase my 3 favorite slasher builds of NBA 2K23 that I have personally used, and obviously I've made quite a few of them, from shooting to non-shooting. I'm here to showcase the 3 that I am the biggest fan of all year. So I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to win to 2,000 likes. Now, I will say, some people are going to look at this and, see the 6'9", 7'7" wingspan that I've been playing pick and roll on all year. I've been playing on it on 5s, 1s, 2s, 3s, etc., etc. From every court to every little corner of this game, I've played on this build right here. And it's by far my favorite. However, people are going to see the recent series that we did in Pro-Am, and they're going to see that I obviously didn't play the best defense that I've ever played on this, and they're going to clown this build. But I think this has been so fun for me to play on. I highly doubt it's going to be fun for you to play on, however, because it may not fit your style. So we have 2 different builds here that may fit your style even more. Between my 6'9", 92 pass act build that I think is so fire for 5 out. I'm really looking forward to running 5 out on this build myself pretty soon here as well. And we'll get into this build first because I feel like this is going to pertain to the majority of the people that actually click on this video, whereas the 6'11" that I showcased may be one that Biggs might like, so we'll go from left to right that was shown on that screen right there, and we'll show the 5 out one, then the actual traditional 6'11" big man that has some slasher to it as well, and I think is so fire for that point too. And then we'll also show my personal favorite 6'9" that I've been playing on all year as a pick and roller, on-ball defender, and like slasher ISO player as well. But anyway, with this build right here, 6'9", 185 minimum weight, 7'1" wingspan, and then I also went with defined body shape. You can go slight if you would really like to for the sake of ball handling. But for this build right here, we have 67 close shot, 80 driving layup for obviously the Zach LaVine package that I prefer the absolute most, 93 dunk for the gold poster, 75 standing dunk, just a nice threshold to hit, and then 89 three-pointer, gold agent 3, gold blinders, all that stuff. It's a pretty big threshold to hit in my opinion. That's a really big number for these 2 badges to go up from silver to gold. While you don't get an extra badge point for doing it, it is pretty big in my opinion as far as that goes. And the mid-range that comes with it obviously gives a badge point anyway. So there's that. 92 pass act, I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of needle threader, period. So if you don't really care for needle threader and you don't really want to make it like that, I would suggest to still stay high on the pass accuracy though. What I love about this build is the fact that when you're playing 5 out, whether it's rec center or like comp pro-am or anything like that, what's going to be able to happen with this is if you have elite shooters on your wing and quick jump shots, people that can shoot pocket shots, people that will shoot blinders shots, etc., etc. If they pinch off that wing shooter, you as an on-ball, like you as an offensive player with an on-ball defender on you and demanding a second defender off the drive, and because obviously this build can do that, I mean it has to be respected from 3, it has 93 dunk as well, whether you cause that attention on the interior yourself with the dunk meter or just the quick drop and the speed that it's going to provide anyway, with pretty decent acceleration and still gold quick first step, and just in general a pretty good ball handler if you ask me. All that attention it's going to create offensively between your shooting and finishing will still make it so you can punish defenders for sending that extra help with the 92 pass act, and you can even get in your play calling bag if you're in more of a 5 out style as far as like team pro-am goes and you have more comms essentially. I know for rec center some of you guys may not have that, but even for that matter too, 92 pass act is very nice for overcoming bad spacing from your teammates in rec. And you may look at the defense and be like, well, this build's lacking on defense, I don't know if I really prefer it. Here's the thing, you can see it actually has everything you're gonna need. Now, if you are cool with running a new core badge pattern like I'm going to in this season 6 as well, where you're gonna get the double play, 1 shooting, 1 finishing, you could still run these defensive badges just with no clamps, and you're gonna see I can run silver challenger, silver interceptor, and then bronze box out beast. In the case of being a comp pro-am team, I can just guard corner with this at that point, and I don't need clamps, and we're cool with that. If you do want to guard wing, or maybe you want to just play point guard, quote unquote, in rec center, you can still play viable perimeter defense with this. And with this, you can still do the 1 defensive badge core and use core interceptor. Boom, from there you can run bronze clamps, silver challenger, and then you still have 2 points left over for, let's say, bronze box out beast and bronze workhorse, something like that. But either way, the build still has pretty good speed, 82, we got 81 acceleration, 82 vert for the elite contact dunk package as well, and 99 stamina. And overall, the badge counts fit really well because of, once again, being 6'9". This is the real big perk to being 6'9", is the fact that you can make a build like this that has really high 3-pointer, that has really high pass act, and not feel the punishment of your defensive and finishing badge loadouts, where obviously with a 6'8", you're going to have to jump slithery all the way up to tier 3, you're going to have to jump takeoff up to tier 3 as well. You're going to have at least 24 badge points to spend between both of those and to be able to core one of them as well. So you have to like core one and then still run the other 2 with 14 more badge points, because obviously you need 10 between tier 1 tier 2. And that's the life of being a 6'8". It makes things like that super challenging. Or, for that matter, things like Challenger, Interceptor, and Clamps all get boosted up to tier 3, and now you have to be able to core one of them, so you need 17 defensive badge points, or like 16 at the very least. And to me, it just adds up to be way too much. I don't really like all the stupid BS you got to go through and all the hoops you got to jump through for being 6'8". I made a 6'8 myself. I made it with 99 dunk. I gave it 85 3-pointer, the classic, all that stuff, right? And I don't really like it personally. I feel like you can't contribute defensively how I'd like to on a build like that. You got to be really low with no challenger, no interceptor. Or actually, I lied. Interceptor stays in tier 2 at 6'8", so just keep that in mind. But you can't run clamps, you can't run challenger, and I just don't like the contribution it provides defensively. And then also, again, finishing is really hard to get. You're gonna have to potentially maybe just not even run slithery, which with the 6'9" you can see is easily done. So that is our look at my first build that we're going to showcase right here, which is the playmaking slasher with the 89 3-point. I mean, what's to really dislike about it? The defense is going to be good enough. The passing is elite. The playmaking overall is still good. The finishing is still plenty good. And then the shooting is 89 3-pointer. So there's a lot to work with on this stuff. I would recommend if you're going to run something like this, try easy blow-bys or limit this range for your primary takeover, whichever you would prefer. And then I actually believe secondary is a really good thing to run for play take on a build like this. If people are going to be double teaming you because you as just an offensive player just in general are demanding a lot of attention, play take is going to be really nice to have as a secondary to get takeover progress quicker. If you demand double teams and you pass the ball a lot, you want to make sure you have play take in your secondary category just to help you get primary take easier. And obviously if you ever end up on secondary too, it's actually a situation where maybe you don't need a plus, you know, like 15 or something like that for your double slash take, because you're going to get everything up into the range that you don't even really need it anyway. But anyway, on to the next one. We have the 6'11 with the 7'9 wingspan. This is going to be pretty close to minimum weight for a 6'11. And I know some people are going to scoff at that. They're going to be like, I need to be heavier, yada yada, this, that, and the other. I need off rebound chaser. And I will say, I actually do think that's pretty valid. If you wanted to actually modify this build yourself and take the block down to 93, I think you can make that pretty reasonable, to be honest with you guys. Not to mention, maybe you just want more mash on this build. I will say though, you're going to see taking the block down from 99 to 93, it doesn't give me a lot toward close shot. That's just because it forces things like post control up, it forces mid-range up too. Having 60 close shot makes it so you don't have to force either of those up, because as you can see, as soon as I do that, post control is going up. As soon as I go past 65 to 66, boom, now my mid-range is going up. And you can see it gets very expensive in that aspect as well. So that's why I went with something like this. And I will tell you guys, first and foremost, I don't think you need close shot as a 6'11 big like this. If you have dunk meter in your bag, or just in general, you have some slashing aspect in your bag, or also, as you can see, you can run rise up on gold with 90 standing dunk. I believe as a pick and roller and as a slasher, you can overcome a lot of bad spacing things with this. Now, to be fair, that's my biased opinion because I use the dunk meter a lot. Like I'm talking, I hopped in there with randoms. I've uploaded videos on this build if you guys ever want to see it and how I utilize it with randoms in the rec center. But I'm just telling you guys, you can even just sit on the wing. You'll sit here and think like, oh, I gotta just cram the paint because I have 25 3-pointer. What am I doing on the 3-point line? Here's the thing. If you're good with the dunk meter and you're good with just your dunks period, or maybe gathers or whatever the heck you want to call it with your ISO on slashing, you can just float around the 3-point line. If the defenders don't respect you, there you go. You just get a free catch run. You get great acceleration out of those catch and runs. And obviously if no one's there to body you up, you can overcome the fact that your ball handling is not the greatest and you don't have anything more than bronze clamp breaker or anything like that. And they give you a free run straight to the hoop. I promise you guys. Like, people will be like, oh, you can't shoot, leave them open. Then what? Play low and just play for the dunk meter and just get bodied? I'm telling you too, the 6'11s with like the bigger wingspan, I don't know if it's the bigger wingspan or just being taller in general, but you get more contact dunks, just straight up. It could also be that you get the elite big man contact dunks too, and even the pros as well. Not to mention, as you guys can see, this build gets 90 vertical. If I could vouch for this 99 block real quick, I would really vouch for it the most for rec center. This is a beautiful thing to run. 89 interior, 99 block, and then 90 vertical paired with elite speed. You still got great rebounding. With that speed and vert, you get to the rebounds even easier too. It's not a liability as far as perimeter defense and steal go. This could still play back end if you guys want to play like a traditional comp pro-am lineup, and maybe you play back end with this and you have another big in the corner, or you could even play the corner on defense too. I will say though, when it comes to comp pro-am, the spacing is a lot better, and I feel like the value of Hall of Fame anchor kind of deteriorates a little bit. I would scale it back to the 93 one way or another. You may also find it kind of corny that 70 ball handle is on this build, but I promise you guys, there's a lot of good SIGs with it. I actually uploaded a video of the best big man SIGs that you can run in 2K23, like for this build exactly. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to. I also went with the 76 pass hack, obviously the gold break starter, and also, just to keep in mind, the reason we have all that playmaking on this build is you get play take. So if you play in a comp pro-am style as well, I actually think this is a fire thing to run right here. Run secondary slash take for the pick and rolls that you're going to get. Run primary play take to help your point guard get his takeover even easier. Or if you take over the game because maybe your point guards aren't as good as mine are or anything like that, you could just go with easy blow-bys take yourself and go double slash, and even at that point, you can not contribute into your team's half-court offense. You can just get the ball miscellaneously and actually contribute in your dunk meter. And in case anybody doesn't know, I'm going to drop a video of all the slasher tips you need to know in 2K23, or slasher tips nobody's told you. But easy blow-bys tremendously boosts the size of your dunk meter like crazy. And it's just it's something that people have been hurting themselves and not running all year, if you ask me. They'd be running finishing moves primary. It's not good. Easy blow-bys is so much better, bro. It's ridiculous. But this just lets you let the dunk meter fly. You can do it at all times. It's so crazy. You got to try it out if you haven't already. It'll also help the size of your standing dunk meters if you ever want to try that too. But it is pretty hard to get those standing dunks with the dunk meter. It really just is such a fast thing that you're going to see. But anyway, with this build, we have my kind of revamped, I would say recreated slasher build. I made this from day like 10 essentially of the game. My first build was actually a form of this build right here. It was like my Giannis build, right? It was a lot of very similar things. I just think I didn't have Hoff anchor, and I didn't have things like, I had a lot of driving layup that I didn't even get long athlete for. I had maybe not enough pass accuracy, not the same amount of vertical, things that I just kind of trolled the build on, but it was very similar to this. Now, the second build that I had made was something very similar to this as well, however, only had like 81 block. This was my revamped, recreated version of this build right here exactly, where I'm 6'9", 206 on the weight, for the strength to get to 76 for the silver brick wall, and then 7'7" wingspan. I made it built in revision. I would prefer to make this defined personally, but I know not a lot of people are going to fit this style right here. Nobody really wants to play like this, to be real with you, but this is what I'm looking at right here. To be real with you guys, what I think I actually did with this build is I think I made the close shot a little bit lower, down to like 60 or so, or like 62, and I had the pass act to 86. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think you should do that. I think having things like floor general might be a little overkill. Now, to be fair, Tonic's making a new 7-3 pretty soon here, and I'm going to start being the one that runs floor general in that pick and roll style so that he can get his three-pointer boosted up. So if you want to be that guy in this situation, you could definitely do that. But this is more along the lines of what I would probably suggest to do, just for the badge point, and then boom, you can put your free throw to like 52. It doesn't matter. It's a very small revision, but either way, this is what we're looking at for the most part. It's still the 80 driving layup, it's still the 94 dunk for the badge point, and then 93 for the gold poster, and then 75 standing dunk as a pick and roller. Now, from that point forward, you have good ball handle. You can still put the ball on the floor. You can really be like a dunk meter menace with this as well. And then where this build shines the most, albeit maybe not in this last series that I played, but it has a lot of variety on defense, between 84 interior to 88 prim, 90 steal, 93 block. Still has 94 O-board for offensive rebound crashing, which actually did perform very well. And to be honest with you guys, here's the thing. It's the first time we played 5 out in that series that I'm trying to explain right here. And what I really want to let you know is this, as a pick and roll defensive duo that I've played with IQ all year, time after time, every single series, every single game we've played in, dominates. I haven't really seen a pick and roll team that lights us up for a tremendous amount of points from their guard, or any time that we've struggled to defend, to be real with you. I think this is a devious build to pair with like a typical 4 back end essentially. And again, I'm not trying to sell anybody on the build because I know nobody's going to make some stuff like this. This is a me special. This is exactly the type of build that I prefer to be on, but obviously not very many people in the game would advocate or agree. But either way, good speed, good excel, put the ball on the floor. It can ISO, it can do all types of stuff in like the 1v1 court, 2v2, 3v3. I had a blast playing park on this build too. I mean, between like the gold anchor and the great perimeter defense, the great steal, all the versatility on defense, the fast break ability it has to put the ball on the floor and just dunk on people too, and even still be like throwing crazy dots as well. I love it. And then the vertical, also pretty good on this as well. And then still the silver brick wall too, to be able to pair him with the obviously screen setting and ISO style kind of hybrid that it can provide. But anyway, this was my favorite slasher build all year. I will never ever like change off that opinion 100%. It's just got so much things to it, between the defensive versatility, the offensive, like just put the ball on the floor and pick and roll, and just whatever the case may be of what I can do with it. But anyway, as far as the takeovers, I just run easy blow-bys and finishing moves, just double slash to be able to get it faster. And then when I get it, you can definitely like chip in a little bit more offensively. Now, the team that we played, obviously Joe's team, they played swag way back on the pick and roll a whole lot more, and made it tougher for me to get involved offensively in the pick and roll. I know I don't want to pivot the blame or anything like that. I will say though, a lot of people are acting like it's just the build's fault. We had a lot of open shots, man, from open threes to open mid-ranges from our guards. It was unfortunate. Just game 2 didn't really score a lot between the two of them on open looks, or slightly open looks. We also didn't play through our corners as much as we normally do. Another thing I would advocate for this build right here is the fact that me and Tonic, like with Tonic as a shooting big who spots up in our corner at like 7 foot to 7'3", he draws center's attentions. And when centers have to guard him and he's putting offensive shots up that are more perimeter centric, it allows me to be on a one-on-one situation with their power forward on rebounds with my 94 O board. And obviously, if Tonic's shooting the shots on their center, that means the center had to contest it, which gives me free reign to the rebound. We didn't do very much of that either. It was a very unfortunate series. Do not take very much from that as far as my build / my style or how we play. It's just tough, man. It was tough defense. It was tough offense. And we just kind of struggled as a team in general. But anyway, like I said, those are the 3 builds that I love the most of this year's game. I have made so many of them. I can come back here and show you guys. I've even had to delete a couple because now I have my build slots full. But this is the exact build I was talking about. The Paint Beast, 6'11", 216, 7'9" wingspan. The Diamond Inside Out Scorer is the other build I was talking about with the 89 3-pointer and the 92 pass act. And then obviously over here we have the two-way diamond finisher. This is my main build that I've played on for who knows how many games. And to kind of backtrack right here, the two-way interior finisher was the original form of the build. 6'9", 205, 7'7" wingspan. It was like the 86 pass act, the 81 block with like 76 interior D. It wasn't great though, I will say. Like, it had like super high driving lay and it needed to be revised a little bit. I love this build so much though that I realized if I kind of revamped it and recreated it, it could be so much better. But other than that, man, I had like a 6'9" that had 99 dunk with 83 3-pointer. Didn't like this one quite as much. I obviously have this new build that 2K gave me up to 99 overall, like in max badges instantly. I just had to pay the VC myself, but we'll see about this. This is also a good slasher build. It just has no defense, and I don't think some people would really vibe with it. And then we also have the 6'8" that I also think is a little bit overrated, and I don't like quite as much. But either way, those are all our builds as far as that stuff goes. I also have the 6'6" little big man, but that's not exactly a slasher build or like something very playable. Either way, if you guys ever want to check out any of these builds, I obviously have them all on the channel, so you can feel free to go and do so. But anyway, that is all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put slash or put lake in the comments, search perks me all the way through. But really quick, just to finalize the video, I want to load up both my slasher builds, like the 6'9s, and show you guys how many my points I've accumulated on both of these, because I have played so much of this game on them, and that's what I'm saying. This is truly like how much I have loved builds like this. And as you can see, this one's like literally what, 15 million my points into the 99 cap, and I've played on it like a ton. And this is even, as you can see, 2 extra badge points in. I haven't played on this build consistently in like 3 seasons, but to show you what the original one looked like, it had 88 driving layup and 93 driving dunk. That's a little overkill, to be real with you guys. And then it also had like 68 close shot for some reason, 70 post control for some stupid reason too. The interior defense was 77, the block was 82, and you know, it didn't really have a whole lot of specialty on this build. And I wanted to add more interior defensive ability to it with that 93 block, and then also to take away stupid things like the 70 post control as well, and give it maybe more standing dunk, etc., etc. So anyway, I'm going to load up my other build real quick that I've been using consistently lately. All right, and then we have the revamped version of this that I created most recently, and now as you can see, it's like 6 more million my points and then 99 overall. So we have played a lot of games on this stuff, man, I'm telling you guys. And majority of my park games have been on builds like this as well. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's some unbelievable win rate or anything like that at 1,800 and 176. It's about 91% or so, but I still think, for the sake of like argument of this, as you can see, the points, the rebounds, the assists, the blocks, the steals, all that stuff, the majority of these games are played on my 6'9 inside, and I have a lot of fun playing like this too. If there was any time I'd ever go back to playing park, it would be on a build like this. It's just so much fun to play so original and different compared to what other people would. Again, people can sit here and talk about rim run this, rim run that, but the majority of rim run problems in this game stem off the fact that people can shoot, and they have to be respected from high, and then they just beat them to the drive and then quick drop them. Simple as that. Or maybe beat a late arriving defender. With this build, you have to get very different with it. You have to embrace the dunk meter, but it's something that's fun and really has translated to now I'm really good with the dunk meter even on the shooting builds. Maybe too good with it to the point where I don't really shoot the ball very often. But either way, my whole point here is that I really do think if you embrace the dunk meter, builds like this can be elite, and even with as a pick and roller as well. And for park, it's extremely fun. For pro-am, it's a little bit tougher. You're going to have to involve it in the perfect way and have the right builds around you. Like you have a Tonic on the court, have a good point guard, etc., etc. But I think if you have the right set of people around you, you can definitely make it work. Anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. None of that, like I said, if you made it to the end of the vid, put lake or put slash in the comments. Search person all the way through. But anyway, that's all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.